Ooh, welcome. It is Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's your boys, Mike and Mish, with the Mike and Mish Show. What's up, Mike?
Yo, what is going on, Kyle? We are here at the last episode of the season,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
And we have a big guest
And
on.
we got a big guest. We got our 200th guest coming on tonight. He is the president of the BKFC. What better guy to have on here as the 200th guest of this show's existence? Before we bring him on, which will be 1 minute, let's go ahead and run our sponsor ads.
Norcom Mortgage and Michael Mish are delivering the American dream to those who serve America, helping veterans obtain the dream of home ownership. They offer programs that include no money down, no first-time homebuyer requirement, 100% cash-out refinances, rehab loans. They can help you purchase a home, purchase a condo, refinance an existing mortgage, create a dream home with rehab loan. To learn more, visit www.michaelmish.norcommortgage.com or call 860-884-2103.
Who
Best
was that
vo-
guy? It's
best
like the voice of
voice-
an angel.
Best voiceover guy in the business, everybody. Woo! Make sure you hit up Norcom Mortgage if you need some help. And if you ever need somebody to make a commercial for you with that beautiful Rhode Island accent, that guy right over there, Mike Mish. And Mike Hunnell, talk about
Hunnell.
Mike Mish.
That's right.
And our other sponsor is Guerrilla Warfare Apparel. Make sure you get over to their website, use promo code Mike and Mish, get 15% off, buy a bunch of their shit. These guys are sponsoring all kinds of BKFC fighters. We're talking Rothwell, Lorenzo Hunt, Misfit, Taylor Starling, Go-Go, Brian Duran, you name it. They're snatching up everybody. Brutal Boswick, James Lilly, Connor Turney. They're all rocking this stuff. But I think that's enough said, Mike. Look at that. Look at that. That's a beautiful Go-Go Savleski shirt.
Beautiful.
Guys, it is the final show of 2022. We have maybe our biggest guest ever, number 200 on our guest list. He is the man that brought legalized bare knuckle back to the United States 5 years ago, and he is joining us tonight, Mr. David Feldman. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
You know,
I almost logged in for that mortgage from that commercial, man.
Good. It's the voice, right? This beautiful voice just pulls everyone in.
Oh, man.
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. You know, that commercial, every time Mike says, to find more, I laugh out loud every single time.
I got a lot of inspiration from like 80s game show hosts. So, you know, I hope it came out.
Aren't they the best? They are the best.
That's the yuck it up voice, as they call it in the radio industry. The yuck it up voice. Mr. Feldman, thank you for coming on the show. We have not asked you to come on this show yet. In 2 years of this show, we've been covering you guys since Knucklemania 1. We fell in love with it. We've been covering the sport live. Everyone's always like, how come you don't have David Feldman on the show? How come you don't have him? I'm like, well, we talk to him every event. We just haven't gotten around to it. And then it got to the point where we were like, now we can't have him on until it's like a milestone moment.
Yeah, right.
So welcome, finally, Mike and Mish Show, episode 171, 200th guest. How are you, sir?
Well, man, thanks for having me. First of all, congratulations on you guys' success. It's great to be your 200th guest here. It's awesome. You guys are killing it. People love what you guys are doing. You know, I really like what you guys are doing. So congratulations to you guys first and foremost.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that big time. Like I said, we've talked to you at all these events. It's usually a post-event interview. We talk to you a little bit at the weigh-ins usually, but we never really got to like talk to you, get to know you, and dig into your life and your background a little bit. And we would like to do that a little bit before we start talking about, you know, the rise of the BKFC and the future of 2023. We wanted to just be like, you know, get a little background on you. How did you grow up in combat sports? What's the background of David Feldman that got you to where you are right now?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I was born in the combat sports. I was actually born in. My father had a fighter fighting the next night at the Philadelphia Spectrum. if you're not familiar with Philadelphia Spectrum, that's where they did the first couple Rocky movies at. He had a fighter named Augie Pantelis, a little Greek guy. Trained him for 4 weeks, made his pro debut, and then fought, a couple years later for a world championship. Real tough dude. So I was, definitely born into this. I was, like I said, and then I was like 6 years old, and my mother got in a really bad car accident, and she was actually my mom and dad split up, and my mother got into a bad problem with this guy. He threw her out of a car, ran her over,
Jeez.
and paralyzed her for the rest of her life, quadriplegic. And I'm bringing that up because it's actually one day away from what would have been my mother's 80th birthday tomorrow.
Wow.
So it's, it's kind of emotional to me, man. She was my inspiration. Here's a lady who was in a wheelchair by the time she was in her early 30s, couldn't move her arms or legs, went to college, graduated, got her master's degree, painted pictures with her mouth. I have a couple at my office. I don't have them here, but
Wow.
painted pictures with her mouth, got some poems published in some magazines. Just did everything that, like her son does, everything that everybody said you can't do. And
That's
she did it.
incredible.
And, when I get these moments and I'm like, man, this shit is hard, man. I look at one of her paintings and I'm like, this is it, man. If she can do that in that position, who can tell me I can't do this, And that's what keeps me going. But that was part of my growing up. And then after my mom got hurt, my dad moved a bunch of fighters into my house. So at most times I had between 6 and 8 boxers living at my house. Became like a training camp for some of the guys that my dad was training. Throughout the history of my dad training guys and them living at my house, 2 of them were on death row. I mean, we had like some bad dudes, that kind of we grew up with. And me and my brother both got into professional boxing. My brother got into boxing earlier as an amateur, 13 years old. I think he won the national junior Olympics. And then he stayed with it the whole time and turned pro, I think, at 18 years old. I just kind of dabbled in it for a little bit, and I didn't turn pro till I was 23, actually, when my brother got hurt in training for one of his fights. And I told my dad, I said, I'll step in and I'll fight. So I ended up fighting, and
No way.
a minute 31 second knockout, my first pro fight, and then went on to have 15 total pro fights. And it was in our blood. I got into promoting boxing and mixed martial arts. At the same time, before that, I graduated from Temple University. I was training right up the street from there, so it was very convenient. We were trained in North Philly, and Temple was in North Philly, so it was a good place for us to train. I got into the bar business a little bit, and just had butted heads a lot with my dad. Great guy to everybody in the world. Not the best guy in the world to me, myself, but really good to everybody. Everybody really liked him and admired him, and he kind of was kind of the end of the reason why I ended up boxing, because I just couldn't get along with him anymore. So just kind of pulled out of that. Kept on promoting, and met this guy named Bobby Gunn, who was a gypsy traveler. Fought for me one time, and got to know him and got to actually become pretty good friends with him, and wanted to know a lot about his history as being a traveler, and told me about these bare knuckle fights that they would do in the fields over there. And like, this family would have a problem with that family, and both families would bet money on it, and they would go in the fields and they would fight bare knuckle, and obviously the winner would keep the money, and that would end the family dispute. And I started looking into it, and I'm like, damn, this is different, man. Like, this is different. Because I heard this, what I always say on the interviews, I heard that. Like, I heard the sound, and I was like, ooh, this can be something.
Yeah.
Back in August of 2011, I did my first bare knuckle fight ever, Fort McDowell Casino. One bare knuckle fight with an amateur mixed martial arts undercard, and we did 700,000 viewers on that event. So I did that event, and I'm like, now this is going to be easy, man. This is going to be nothing. I'm going to get it sanctioned everywhere. Everybody's going to love it. And then, this state said no, that state said no, that state said no. By the time I'm at it, I had 28 states turn me down, and some of them, 2 or 3 times, and we're on our almost 70th pitch when Brian Pedersen of the great state of Wyoming said, "Yeah, man, we want this. Let's do it." And June 2nd, 2018, man, history in the making, and here we are. Just completed our 50th event, December 3rd. 2022, like I said, 10 years to get to our first event, and
Incredible.
50 events 4 years later, man.
It's wild.
It's amazing, man. And the crazy thing about it is, man, it's like, dude, we're talked about everywhere in the world, not just, BKFC. Some people know what BKFC is. A lot of people do. But some people just heard that bare knuckle. They heard bare knuckle now. Everywhere I go, they hear it. Around the world, I talk to them. I get emails all day long from Korea, from Japan, from India, from any other place in the Middle East, all over Europe, all over Eastern Europe, Russia. I mean, everyone wants to fight here. It's crazy, man. But that's kind of like a quick glimpse of my of my life growing up. I'm not going to get into it now, but I had a really fucked up growing up. Like, experienced a lot of shit that most people never experienced or never would even want to come close to experiencing in their life. And as I grew up, I experienced more of the bullshit and was able to, I think, like, I'm a survivor in a way where I should have been in jail. I should have been a drug addict. I should have been something, but I shouldn't be where I'm at today. But I am. And I'm blessed more than I could ever be. Just actually bought this beautiful house I just bought about 3 weeks ago. I moved in here, man. It was nice. A dream come true for me and my wife, who's going to come in here. I'm going to have her say hello in a second. But
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It's been a journey, man. And throughout this journey, the thing that probably gives me the most sense of accomplishment is being able to help and change other people's lives along the way. It's cool that I'm doing it for myself and my son and my team, but when I get these fighters call me and tell me I changed their life, like Johnny Bedford saved all his money that he made here and was able to, start a business and buy a house and change his life. And Louis Palomino is able to buy his first house now that he's the champ. For us, that's the kind of stuff that's really cool about what we're doing, man. But I mean, there's so many, like Dave Jr., as you guys know very well.
Yeah,
he says all the time, he goes, "Man, when you're dead, I'm telling your story. So I tell it now, you're going to jail." So
can I ask you a question? You mentioned that your mother's accident and she has passed away, and is your father still around?
No, he passed away too.
So he passed away as well.
Passed away 2017.
2007. So he didn't get to see the start of this thing.
No.
And were you talking with your father at the time when he passed? Were you guys good at that point?
I talked to him always. It's just that
okay.
He
just butt heads.
He had something out, and I know why, and I don't want to really get into that now. But he had something why we didn't get along a lot, or why he didn't help me as much as he helped my brother and things like that, which made me never say no now. Like, I mean, never give up to no. I can't listen to no. Like, no to me is like, yeah, man, let's do this. Like, I love it. Obviously some of the things I don't want to hear no from, but when I hear a no, it's just, it's another, another step up the hill that I'm going to make to make this thing happen. But yeah, man, my dad did not get a chance to see this. We talked a little bit about it prior because I was working on it for 7 years, and he was just an old school boxing guy. Like, that's what he was. Yeah. And it wasn't his cup.
He wasn't interested.
But had he been around now and saw the way these fights are developing, I mean, there's not much bad he would be able to say about it.
I feel like one of the things about the sport is that people who watch glove boxing, there's something where they have like a pride inside of them where they're like, no, I can't do that. That's crazy. That's just wild. There's no way that's going to work. I see it all the time. And if you get into it and say, hey, have you watched it though? But have you paid attention? Do you see what's going on? people will watch it and then be like, oh wait, hold on, this actually is crazy, this is good. I hear that all the time. I don't know, people don't like change, that's what it is.
It's giving it a chance, right? Like all I tell everybody is just watch it, just once. Don't most of the naysayers of bare knuckle, most of the guys that talk bad about it, never, ever, ever watch this sport, ever. You know what I mean? So,
that's got to be like the challenge. Like I can't imagine what it's like for you when you go to a new state and you try to pitch the product and you try to get it legalized in a new state, and you get these people that don't even want to watch it and they don't even want to give it the time of day to watch it. You can't shove a TV in their face and be like, "Fucking watch this." God damn it. You know what I mean? Like, what are you running into like the most as far as pushback goes to the people, the naysayers that you talk about that are just too stubborn to even break down the wall?
It's the same thing, man. It's the people like that didn't watch it. They're the guys. Like I have doctors at these athletic commissions that go, it's way too dangerous. I say, okay, here's the study. Here's a study that shows it's not as dangerous as boxing or mixed martial arts. All the data that we have, everything we have, here you go, black and white. It's not as dangerous. It's too dangerous. They're going to get, they're going to get this. They're going to get head trauma. But I have the data now. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like they're just have a predetermined notion sometimes, and they don't want to, open up. But it's kind of what I said at the beginning. Like a lot of the bigger media wasn't covering us, and I was like, soon they're not going to have a chance. And now they have to cover us because we're relevant, right?
Right.
The same as like some of these bigger states that we're pitching right now. They're not going to be able to say no much longer. Like Nevada, for instance, great state, great commissioner there, Jeff Mullen, awesome dude. But they just legalized slap fighting. They just legalized ungloved combat in the state of Nevada. It's going to be really, really hard for them to say they can't do bare knuckle. They just legalized ungloved combat. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but they legalized defenseless ungloved combat.
Right.
I think that you guys were a big time victim of some bullshit media when the one tragic incident that has happened so far in your 5 years existence happened with Justin Thornton. God bless him and his family. I'm sure that gets brought up, and like it was a fall. It could happen in any combat sport, and like anybody that would say, oh, a man passed because of this sport, they don't know what happened, one, and they don't want to bring up the point that like 5 to 7 gloved boxers die a freaking year.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's just like
the thing that we go at, guys, is I never go, this is safe, right? Because listen, anytime you get two guys or girls in the middle of a cage, in the middle of a ring, or anywhere in the world, punching each other in the head, and their object is to hurt the person, it's not It's not safe. Nothing, no combat sport is actually safe.
Yeah,
right?
It's inherently
dangerous. More dangerous than boxing or mixed martial arts, and we have the data that backs it up. We're no more dangerous. So I don't mind talking about that incident. Look, things are going to happen. You're going to trip along the way. You're going to stumble. You're going to hit roadblocks. Accidents are going to happen. Things that shouldn't happen are going to happen. We're in a combat sport. We're in a sport where the object is to hurt the other person, and things will unfortunately happen.
Right.
Fortunately, not fortunately, but on that note, we did everything we could do to hold Justin Thornton's family's hands through that process, to take care of them, to take care of the expenses, to do everything we're supposed to do to start the Justin Thornton Memorial Scholarship Fund, which we just donated $20,000 into that right now. So we're doing everything that we can do to do what we're supposed to do if an unfortunate accident like that happens. Because look, it's possible. It's not probable. Yeah. It's not something that should happen. It's something that can happen in combat sports. It can happen. Now, as you guys brought up, very good point. This was not a bare knuckle punch, injury. This was a trip. It was a fall. He fell the wrong way. And unfortunately, with some other things that were going on with him, he ended up, passing away from complications of those other things. But, I can't say it didn't stem from, he wouldn't have fell if he didn't get hit with a bare knuckle, right?
That is true.
With a bare knuckle, and he fell, and things happen. But at the end of the day is, I don't run from that. I don't hide from that. This could happen. but we'll do
Right.
everything that we can do to prevent it to happen. And if it does happen, we'll do everything we're supposed to do, along the way.
A neck injury like that could happen on any given Sunday or any given Saturday in a college football or a NFL football game. And anybody that would argue against that are foolish fucking idiots that don't know what they're talking about. This happens. As a matter of fact, when that happened with Thornton, I want to say it was like 3 months earlier, Dominic Reyes got knocked out in the UFC and fell the exact same way and landed on his head the same way. And, fortunately for him, he didn't sustain an injury like that, but it could have fucking happened in the UFC. You know what I mean? It happens.
I mean, it can happen anywhere. Look, man, here's what they do. They pray for your fucking downfall, man.
Right.
They're doing it. Look, anytime someone is going against the grain and succeeding going against the grain, they all come out. They come out all the time. I see it all the time, but it's okay. I know what we're doing. I sit back sometimes in the crowd and I watch and I see how happy these fans are and the fighters love it. Look, again, you're going to get one or two fighters that say BKFC sucks. They're the worst. They're pieces of shit, blah, blah, blah. But if you go pound for pound or like fighter for fighter for every fighter in our organization versus any other organization in the world, I think you're going to have a lot more positive response with BKFC than you are with anybody else in the world. Because we treat them right and we're doing things to change the game. We truly are. But, at the same time, I got a bunch of assholes that really want to say, and look, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But how many people really in their life have the balls to chase a dream? To get knocked down, to get death threats, to get almost arrested, to almost lose your livelihood, to do everything that everybody said you couldn't do. How many people really had the balls to stand up and do what everybody said you can't do? Not many. And I'm doing it. I'm not saying it's there yet, but I'm doing it every day. Every day. I hear it every fucking day.
And you said it yourself earlier, like you just passed 50 events. I believe Thailand was 51, right? It was 50 in Hollywood and then 51 in Thailand. Year one to now, 50 events. You've built this incredible roster. Me and Mike were talking about the roster of fighters that you have managed to put together in 5 years. Not only the homegrown stars that I want to talk about in a minute, but like you managed to pull in just the right legends in combat sports like Leonard Garcia and Joey Beltran and Chris Lieben, guys like that, Chris Lytle, that were willing to dip their toe into this sport and show the MMA world that this is something that can be done and this is something that can be great. After those guys, the younger crop of MMA fighters, the Paige Van Zants and the Mike Perrys and these guys start showing up. Now, after these guys show up, the older but not done with fighting guys like Kamosi and John Dotson, I commend you on the building of this roster so far, and I cannot wait to see who's next. You know
Absolutely, what I mean? Man, and we're all keeping our fingers crossed that who's next is this guy that we're trying to get so hard, and hopefully it comes through, man. It's a great offer on the table, and some of our guys might go, why would they pay someone that kind of money? But they don't understand that the PR and the marketing that comes with that, right? Like I would have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to get the kind of PR and the kind of marketing and the kind of clout that I'm going to get to sign a guy like that. And, hopefully he comes on board because all it's going to do is it's going to change it for everybody. It's going to help change it for all the current fighters. These guys like Lorenzo Hunt fighting Mike Richmond. It's the main event in Knuckle Mania where, I never would have thought about putting two homegrown guys on yet. But, I saw December 3rd, the success we had with an all 100% homegrown BKFC, card really there, all homegrown fighters. And, it was amazing, man. It was our fourth consecutive sellout at the Hard Rock Casino.
That's a great place. The first time Kyle and I went to the Hard Rock and we walked in, the way that it's set up is not like an arena where you're all the way around the ring 360. So like when we first walked in, we were like, I don't think I like this that much. I don't like the setup. It's weird. I've never really watched. I think one time I went to World Series of Fighting in Foxwoods and it was kind of like that. Yeah. And I didn't really like it that much. So I was like, I don't know about this setup, but we'll see, ended up being fantastic. And that place really packs in. Yuli Diaz is on the card. Forget it. Like there's a lot of people from Slaughterhouse that fight on that card, and they bring Brian Duran and Blake Davis. Like they bring a big crowd with them. So that place fills in really, really nice.
I love that place.
And we have our last event was the Mike Perry event. That was and when Chad Mendes fought, that was the highest grossing combat sporting event ever at the Hard Rock Casino.
Yeah.
That's PFL, that's Bellator, that's PBC, that's Top Rank Boxing, that's everything. You name it, they've been there, and we, did a higher gross than them. It was really surreal for me at that event. Actually, I was looking at the at the box office, and I was looking up at the acts that were coming there, and I saw Elton John was up there, and our ticket prices were higher than his, and I was like, how is this even happening? And we sold out. When we sold out, I was like, wow, this is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Get them out there playing the walkouts.
Yeah. Mike mentioned Slaughterhouse and how those Slaughterhouse guys, they are just like gods in that Miami area, and they really pack the house. Like the decibel level when Blake Davis was in the ring, and when HD Davis and Yuli Diaz and all these guys, it's incredible what those guys can pull for you down there. And speaking of Slaughterhouse, in the comment section there, I'm guessing that's Ryan, probably. I've dealt with a lot of promotions. Dave is absolutely the best at giving a fuck about his fighters. So kudos to you on that one. I know that.
Thanks, Ryan.
Perez has done a lot.
Look, man, at the end of the day I think some of these promoters forget. Now, look, at the end of it's the balance, but some of these fighters forget that the number one commodity that their promotion has is their fighters, right? Because they're going to go out there, they're going to risk their life, literally. You saw what happened.
Right.
One guy passed away. They're going to risk their life to entertain the fans and to do good for the promotion. And if you can't take care of them, then what are you? Really? Like, I'd say this all the time, and I mean this wholeheartedly. Like, our valuation is going through the fucking roof. Like, it's crazy. We started this thing. We got an office in Broomall, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Our office is about 3 blocks away from a warehouse where I did my first bare knuckle event 11 years ago. Illegal bare knuckle event underground in a warehouse. Unbelievable stuff. To doing our first event June 2nd, 2018, to now being valued at north of $200 million. It's the company as a whole. Not saying we can go sell that tomorrow and we're not making money. Look, the company is, it's treading water to do what it needs to do these big things. But at the end of the day, man, like, I want to take care of these fighters. And when I say that, sometimes then they come back and go, well, give me this, give me that. Like, I can't give them everything, but I'm very fair with everything. If I can ever help them out, I mean, I probably got 30 fighters I could get on this program right now and say, Dave saved my Christmas, or he paid my rent for me, or he paid my car payment, or he helped me with child support. I get that there's real life situations, and if I can't be there for the fighters, then why should they be there for me?
Yeah, it's amazing. We actually saw a post by Chevy Bridges the other day that was he shouted you out for helping him out for Christmas. So that's very cool that you do that. If I threw a few names at you that had been mentioned in the last year or so, could you give us an update? Because I've had some people ask me about certain people, like Felice Herrig for one. You guys had announced that you signed the little bulldog, whatever. I think it's a little bulldog, right? Felice Herrig from the UFC.
Yep.
But we never really heard anything else after that about her. Are we going to see her in 2023?
Yeah, she'll fight in March. So what happened is she was going to fight on the Denver card, and then she didn't want to fight in that altitude. And then she was finishing up some type of schooling, because we were going to put her on the December 3rd card, but she had to finish that up. And then I said, okay, great. You're coming to Knucklemania. And she was like, I don't really like that altitude again. And I'm like, we have to figure something out. So yes, it wasn't like we were avoiding things, just circumstances happened there, but absolutely she'll be, I believe it's the March show that she's going to be on.
Which is March?
In Virginia?
Virginia?
March 24th, Norfolk, Virginia.
Ooh.
We also have one that we're going to do on St. Patty's Day. Looks like it's going to be, I can't announce it officially, but it looks like it'll be in Delray Beach, Florida, at an outdoor tennis arena there.
Nice.
It'll be a pretty cool card, and she'll be on there. So one of them.
All right. How about Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy, it's funny. We met the day of that fight. We talked about a few things. He's probably going to make his debut on that March 17th card.
Damn, dude, you got another one in March. Year and a half ago, you guys announced signing a young Russian bare knuckles fighter, Ekaterina Makarova. Did that name ever get brought up again? I looked her up. I watched a few of her videos. She's 25 years old now.
She asked if she could get released because we couldn't get a visa for her. So she
Okay.
wasn't able to obtain a visa, so we had to release her.
And the last one would be Todd Duffy. He was supposed to fight in December, originally announced, but that never happened either. Is he still on the radar, or is that past as well?
We were gonna put him in with Greg Hardy on the December 3rd card, but Greg Hardy had a boxing match that he wanted to do, and we let him do that. Todd, yeah, definitely, he'll be at some point in the early, probably in the first quarter of 2023, without a doubt.
Man, that's awesome.
And you know, there's some other names, you know, that we're very much interested in picking up right now, that we're going to pick up, and there's some guys, you know, that we signed or we were about to sign, and you know, it just didn't go our way. I think we're in a great position now to sign a lot of different guys. The company that acquired a big portion of us is Triller, as you guys know, and we did that because they were going to be a publicly listed company, and a few things they did things a little differently. And I just got word today that it looks like the third week of January that we'll be ringing the bell, New York Stock Exchange, and
Wow,
I'll be
nice.
one of the guys ringing it. And it looks like things are going to really change positively. That's going to open up a shitload of funding for us to be able to get the guys that we really want to get. And I think, I really think we're right there, man.
That's incredible.
We're working on a TV deal. We get this TV deal, it's game over, because all we need is people to watch us more. That's it. It's not like we have to convince people that it's fun or it's exciting or it's safe anymore. I mean, we still have to do that on the higher level, but we proved all concept here. We proved everything there is to prove. We just need more eyeballs, because when people watch this shit live, it's game over. It's game over for them.
Is the TV deal one of like the big name channels?
Yeah.
ABC, NBC, Fox,
They're
Disney, like
They're
ESPN.
one of the top 5 or 6 networks out there, absolutely. Or, you know, it wouldn't make sense to do it if it was anything smaller, because we have, I don't know, we got 275,000 new downloads this year on the app. So it wouldn't make sense for us to do anything unless it was one of the big ones where we were going to get, you know, have an opportunity to get 750,000 to 1 million live viewers per event. It wouldn't make sense for us.
And with the TV deal, which is obviously huge, the app will still exist, and the event with the TV deal.
Here's what I would like to do: is I would like to do, if it works out the way I want to do it, I want to do. We're aiming towards, you know, closer to 40 plus live events this year, domestically, internationally. I'd love to do a series of 12 events on the TV network, and then everything else remains on the app. So we grow the app, we grow the fan base, we grow everything kind of simultaneously. I don't think it's going to happen until the second or third quarter of this year, though. But it's something that we're seeing a lot of interest in right now. We're seeing a lot more interest in these mainstream sponsors as well. You know, we're doing a big deal with DraftKings right now, and that's going to be game changing for us, and just a lot of other big things. So we just did the tryouts in Vegas at the Mr. Olympia. It was surreal of how many companies came up to us and said, "Yo, can we sponsor you? Can we sponsor you? Can we sponsor you?" Big ones. I mean, the biggest companies out there, you know, like Celsius, if you know Celsius.
Yeah, it's an energy drink.
Energy drink. They were real big. AMP was out there as well. There was Redcon, a bunch of different
Supplement
companies. Hemp is it's a big CBD company, one of the biggest. And actually, I'm going to give them a plug just because they gave me some cream and it was the best. It was HEMPE. It was unbelievable. And I'm not they're not a sponsor or anything, but if you want something that works, that shit works.
There you go.
I'm always afraid to use it. So, Kyle and I are both still active military. And we work.
Cream. I didn't take it. It was just.
Yeah. No, I understand. But, I always get nervous because they, I think like, oh, I need this. I need this stuff. Everyone says it works. And I'm just so nervous that, we're both in and we get randomly drug tested, every month. And I'm like, if I do that, it happens to, I go, no, it was cream. I used the cream. And they're like, nah, man, you failed. You're done.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. You gotta watch yourself.
I'm jealous.
When are you guys stepping down from the military?
Well, with me, I just finished my time as the acting first sergeant for our company. So I'm moving on to a new job. I'm 22 years in the military, and my date to get out is 2 years from now. But since I've passed 20 years, if I decide that I got something better to do, I will drop my retirement letter and I'll fucking do something else, because I think 20 years and 3 deployments is plenty. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. See, I've been in 14 years. I just became a platoon sergeant. I just got my sergeant first class. So I'm trying to take the position he just left within the next 2 to 3 years, which I think is pretty capable of.
Mike thinks that he wants that job, and then he will get the job, and then he'll have 247 soldiers assigned to him. And then he's everybody's dad, which is probably like you with your fighter roster.
So funny, man. I came up with a saying about 3 years ago. It's when about 4 years ago, I did the first event, and then that World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation, I think is the name. They did it, and I said, after he failed, because he said it, I was a piece of shit and all this stuff, and he failed. And I said, everybody wants to do what you do until it's time to do what you do.
Yeah. It's true.
Everybody wants to do your job until it's time to do your job. But I think Mike can do your job.
No, Mike would do a great. He's he's one of the best platoon sergeants that I had in the entire company. I'm not just
I mean to say this, and I mean it from our thank you guys for your service, because we wouldn't be the great country we are today without guys like you. And I mean that 100%, man. Like, people overlook and they look down on the military sometimes, but I mean, without you guys fighting for our country, we'd be shit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Well, I mean, that's real. That's like from the heart, because I don't get when people can go against the military. Like, I don't understand what kind of people do that. But anyway, that's for another topic for another day.
Check out this. They gave me this sword here for my and I got it, and I was like, wow, this is super fucking cool. Like, this is like a cool ass gift on my way out the door. I didn't really know what it meant, but the symbolism here is when a gladiator was freed from being a gladiator slave and he is now free, they would present him with this Rubis sword that he could take out the door, because now he's a free man. So I don't know if they were trying to say like good luck, you're a free man now, or were they calling me a slave for the last year and a half? I don't know. Yeah, and this cool ass cup too. Thanks, Larry. My training NCO is in the comments right now. Hey, let's hit a couple of these comments real quick. I don't know how many people have asked about Shady Grady right now, but I have to go back in these damn comments. Mr. Feldman, Dave, are we going to see Shady Grady back in a squared circle, or when the mushing of the face happened was the last time we see Shady?
Not 100% sure, but not because I had to jump in the ring, but I just look, man, like I'm just tired of the stupid antics, doing shit you're not supposed to do. Like, I'm just getting tired of it, to be honest with you. I want the fans to get what they're supposed to get, which is badass fights. And yeah, we want the promotion. We want to do the things that some of these guys do to promote themselves. That's okay. But when you're hitting someone after the bell, you're hitting them low, you're headbutting them. It's just, you're not there to fight. Like, if you're there to fight, then fight. And if you're not, then you're going to have a short career with us. And, I don't know. We're going to revisit it, but we'll see what happens with that.
It could add to the naysayers there when they stand for everything. They go, oh, look at what your people do when they fight.
100%, man. And look,
when you're trying to bust into new states, like that can't be a good chip to have on the table.
No, and actually, one of the new states commission was there at that event, and I walked over to I apologize, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, you got nothing to apologize for, man. You regulated shit. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. But I was just like, 'cause I don't want that shit to happen, man. Like, I don't. I mean, you know, like Ty Emery flashed, right? And
Yeah.
it went viral and it worked. But it's not something that was predetermined, and it's not something I ever want to see again, ever.
Right.
It worked then. It's not, if you do it again, it's like, oh, what are they fucking trying to do now, right? Like, I just want to be known for the fighting, and yes, there's going to be antics that happen, and people are going to talk about them, and it's going to help get more people to talk about that wouldn't have. But when it becomes all kinds of just bullshit, they stop worrying about why we're really here for the fighting, right? I mean, you have to admit, this is probably the baddest combat sport on the planet. Like, not just the promotion, but I mean, there's nothing more exciting. There's nothing more fast paced. You know, it can end at any single time. It's unbelievable. And to take away from it, it's a shame.
We were talking about before the show, when we first started the podcast, Kyle was kind of doing it himself. And then I would come on as a guest because we've been friends. We got deployed together in 2012 and been friends ever since. Everything we covered, 90% or 95% was MMA. When we went to that Knucklemania one and we heard, like you said, that fist hitting somebody in person right next to the ring, it blew our mind. And then just every fight, the Taylor Starling fight was that. It was just, it's absolutely insane. And we fell in love with it. Now, 99% of what we cover is bare knuckle. We just fell in love with it. So I feel like everybody who watches it will fall in love. And like, you've built an amazing roster of homegrown superstars, Lorenzo Hunt, Christine Faria, Britton Beltran, Palomino got big here, even though he was from World Series of Fighting and he had some fights, but he's now the man. He's known as a bare knuckle champ, Johnny Bedford, Reggie Barnett. I mean, what kind of feeling does that give you to know that like these people are growing in something that you've built?
That's why December 3rd was so special to me. It was really unbelievable that there was a line to get in and there were no seats left. It was actually like we were updating the ticket map. We do it at ringside all the time. And I was like, bang, no seats left. Holy shit, this is unbelievable, because it was homegrown, man. It was the guys that we started, we're building. And to know that the sport itself is something that people are watching now, not just in a particular guy, but they're watching guys that are coming up in the sport now. And look, man, Lorenzo Hunt, Mike Richmond, Francisco Ritchie, Hector Lombard, even that had a hell of a career and did what he did with us.
Dave Mundell,
Adams, Joey Beltran, man. Like, Joey Beltran was in some wars for us, man. Take my hat off to him.
Oh yeah,
so much, man. He did a Britton Beltran spit her tooth out, like choked on her tooth almost. Christine Faria, just an animal. I mean, all these guys and girls that came up to help make this what it is. And that's why I want to do things that I can change the game for them. And by bringing in these bigger names and having more and more people watch the fights, and to do these partnerships we're going to do with some of these crypto companies and be able to give them some crypto to be able to fall back on and cash out and make some extra money on, help them with sponsorships, help them with everything we're doing. That's what it's about. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, we were talking, I never got to finish the story, but it's like, how much money can you have? Like, when I told you about the valuation, right? Like, if I cash out and they give me, I don't know, 50 million, let's just say, or they give me 30 fucking million, does it matter? Like, does it fucking matter if I can help these guys out with the different part of it? You know what I mean? Like, who needs that kind of money? Nobody, right? So if you can do something to help people out to change their lives, that's what's so important to me. Look, I want to be as successful as the next guy. I want to have the nice things in life. I want my family to, because I never did growing up. I never had anything. Just so everybody knows, in case some of these people think like someone handed me this thing. Like, I had nothing. Like, literally 6 years ago, November, I got diagnosed with cancer for the second time. I was having some problems at home. I got sued for my MMA business on a federal antitrust lawsuit by some jerk-off scumbag that just tried to sue me, stop my business in its track. I was doing 50 shows a year. I was dead broke, $282 to my name. I drove to the Commodore Barry Bridge right outside of Philadelphia. I got out of my car and I was going to jump off the bridge, man. I was at wit's end, man. I was crying, man. I was like, this is it. You know, how much shit can I take? And that's when I say, like, mental health. I wouldn't have mental health issues. I had a mental health moment there, but it's real. Like, I literally was, 30 seconds from killing myself, man. And I thought about, like, everybody that helped me get there and my family, and, and I jumped back in the car and I made a video to myself that I watch probably, once every other week now. So I'll never be in this position again. I'll never be this low in my life again. And I'm going to be the biggest success I can ever be. And, all this shit, I'm never going to stop. And from that day on, I never stopped. Never stopped. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they want to say about me. I don't care how hard they want to push me. I'll stop doing and driving as hard as I am when I'm dead. And that's it. They're not going to stop me. I'm going to build this thing as big as it can be. But people don't understand that, that part of their journey. Like, how much of a toll it takes on you, man. It's real.
They just see you in a suit, sitting on the side of the ring, talking on TV, and they're like, hey, look, that's where he showed up. You weren't born. You just showed up next to that ring in that suit. That's it. That's all people know. So,
I mean, look, I don't want people to think that the company isn't financially secure, because we're in a very good spot now. But there's, right before Knucklemania 1, straight up, right before Knucklemania 1, 10 days before my investor pulled out on me. It was the most expensive show I've ever done, man. I mortgaged everything I had, my house, my percentages, everything I had, borrowed every dime I had because I bet on myself again, and we won, man. It was the most money we ever brought into an event, and we won. But I put every single thing up. Nobody knew. Like, literally, I mean, Junior has video, like, I'm banging shit, I'm throwing desks, everything's gonna cross the fucking office, because I'm like, do you understand? We're about to fucking die, motherfuckers. We're gonna die. And I fucking mortgaged everything. I mean, every penny I fucking had went into that event. My life was on the fucking line, and it succeeded. And they don't see that part of it. They see, like, oh, the jerk off that was gonna take half the purse from the guy there. Listen. Did I want to take half the purse? Did I really want to? Fuck no, man. But at the end of the day is, when I told the guy 3 times, stop fucking running because these fans paid to see you fight, and I did something, knee-jerk reaction, something stupid. They want to say the guy's a jerk off. They don't know what goes on every day, man. This is real shit every day. Just, hunting and hunting and hunting, trying to find the money, trying to find everything to do the next show, to hire. Listen, we're short-staffed. We need another 10 guys to hire. But we got to find the money to do it, and we're doing it. We're finding it every day. We're finding different things every day, and we're building this thing every day, but nobody sees the real shit. We say all the time in the office, if we had cameras in this office, we wouldn't have to do bare-knuckle fights. They're fucking multimillionaires. You don't understand, and they don't understand. And at the end of the day, that's the good thing, because you know what? The fans, the media, they're all supposed to see the nice, shiny apple. Right? They're supposed to see that.
Right.
They're not supposed to see that the fucking apple tree fell down 3 times while it was growing the apple. They're not supposed to see that. So they don't see it, and I don't talk about it much. But I figured, since you guys want to know a little bit,
that's amazing. And thank God you walked away from that bridge. Thank God you put your money on yourself, because it's paying off tenfold now. You know what you remind me of when you were telling us that story? You ever see that poster of like an iceberg where like the beautiful mountaintop is like sticking out of the top of the water, and then there's that gigantic fucking thing underneath the ocean, and that's where all the fucking shit that nobody sees behind the curtain. That's exactly what it is. It's resilience, it's perseverance. We learn that shit all the time in the military. We drive that into our soldiers, and in a way, it's the same way. You're leading.
Swear, man, I credit this part of my being 100% to my mother, man. I mean, my dad kicked our ass into shape, but my mom, man, like, imagine wanting to kill yourself and never giving up. Like, you beat to almost near death, really beat to near death.
It's nuts.
Can't move your arms or legs, and you find a way, man. You paint a picture, a beautiful picture too. I'll send it to you guys tomorrow, man.
Definitely.
A beautiful picture of these beautiful roses that she made for everyone with her mouth, man. Like,
That's
how the fuck are you gonna tell me I can't promote a fucking show or I'm not gonna do this? Like, who gives a shit, right? Like, at the end of the day, does it really matter? No, nothing matters, man. These people dying, these people committing suicide, man, and it's awful because nothing's worth it, right? Nothing's
it
worth.
happens. It's happening way too often. Suicide has almost become like a normal thing in this country, and it's super fucking sad. We see it all the time, and with as in the leadership positions that we're in the military, it happens a lot more than people would ever imagine. Like, and people see commercials and posters and whatever, but those posters and those commercials are for a reason. The shit is actually happening, and there's hotlines out there. There's the 988 hotline now, the suicide hotline. They made it very easy for anybody to call. Just dial 988, and it's 24 hours a day. Anybody needs help, that's there. And you could just, drive through, be resilient, drive through, always bet on yourself, and you're the fucking poster boy for that now. This year was your biggest year, 2022. You're bigger than ever. You talked about Triller. You talked about the amount of events you guys put on this year. Sellouts all over the place. We went to Denver. We went to Albuquerque. When are we going to get in New England? You're talking to a couple New England boys here. We're talking Boston.
We're talking to one of the major casinos up there right now. That's Tribal. That hopefully that gets done here in the next 2 months. And we're also talking to 2 different states up there. So it's my goal. I mean, I'd love to be in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. It's probably not going to happen for a little bit, but we'll be in New England 100% this year, 100%. Guaranteed 100% we will be in New England, man.
That's music to our ears for sure.
Yeah. That's right up the road. Mohegan and Foxwoods right there.
Yeah. If it's one of those two, we're like within minutes of them. So that's fantastic.
Awesome.
People around here are really becoming fans of the sport. Like Mike and I tell it to whoever will listen. We push it, we push it, we push it. They probably get annoyed by us, but we don't give a shit. We push it. We're talking about new states with you. We're talking about New England. We're talking about Pennsylvania. But you went to Thailand and the UK this year. We're hearing BKFC Latin America is coming up. Do you want to talk about that for a second? Is there anything already in the works?
We're working on it right now. I mean, we're definitely going to do a show probably by May or June, and then the goal is really to do a show every month in Latin America, whether it be in Mexico, Central America, South America, but to do one show a month in Latin America come mid 2023. That's a big part of the plans for this year, because we have a ton of Latinos that want to get on board. We're looking to go north of the border too, as well, to Canada this year. We already opened up one province, but we're working on a couple more right now. We can only grow as fast as our finances are going to allow us to grow. Well, I wish we could grow faster and do more shows, but at the end of the day we're going to get there. I truly believe that we have the best team in combat sports. I think we have a team that has each other's back. Like, you don't see that a lot. Like, you see this guy talking about that guy and that guy talking about that guy. And some guys butt heads once in a while, but at the end of the day we all want a great show. We all like pat each other on the back at the end of the show. Anyone we bring in, such as you guys, or had to be stand-up individuals, or they're out, man. Like, I don't fuck around, meaning like you're some jerk off that wants to talk shit on people and do this and do that and do something stupid. You're done. And I don't want to play games anymore with the fighters. Like, I tell them what they're going to make, and then if they come try to jerk me off, I don't play games. Like, I'm fair. I do everything I can do for everybody. But at the end of the day, man, we got a tight niche, really, really close team that really likes each other and has each other's back. And I think that's why we grow the way we grow, because it's kind of like, we got this wall up now that we're pushing it forward, man.
Yeah, there is a community that has grown from the sport behind the scenes that people don't really see, but they could see all the people when they watch the events, but just know, like, these people, they're together day in and day out. Like, anytime we go into an event and we show up to the hotel, You know, there's people everywhere, the fighters and Brian and Rob and Dave Jr. and, you know, everybody's around. Sean Wheelock, they're just talking and going out and eating lunch together and hanging out. What are you doing later? And you want to go to breakfast tomorrow morning? Kevin Smith and Ryan Perez. You know, it's everyone is always together trying to, you know, hang out and talk and just they're so everyone's passionate about the sport and building it. And there's this camaraderie that just I've never seen it before. I mean, we're fairly new. We've gone to tons of MMA events. We've been to boxing and Muay Thai, but we've never been in it. But this group is it's very tight, and you can feel how into this sport and dedicated that everybody is when they're there and they're talking about it. It's like a constant from Thursday. If we come in on Thursday morning and leave on Sunday morning, like it's a nonstop bare knuckle affair. It's never ending, you know? So it's a sight to be seen. If anyone can go to an event, you can feel it. I've heard it from fans, people that are in the comments right now. Everybody's so welcoming. When fans come in, if they want to talk to a fighter, if they want to talk to someone like yourself, like everybody always stops and says hi. They always take pictures, give autographs. There's never like a moment where you feel like, get out of here. You know, we don't have time for you. It's a very personable.
Absolutely. Nobody does it more. What Mike is saying about Lorenzo Hunt is the fucking poster boy for that.
Yeah.
That dude, when you go to an event that Lorenzo Hunt is not on the card, and you will see more of Lorenzo Hunt than anybody on the goddamn card. The guy's in the crowd, he's in the lobby, he's at the merchandise table, he's raising money for suicide awareness for veterans, he's selling shit, he's taking pictures. Like, that dude's everywhere.
No, he is. He's great, man. Like I said, most of them are great because we don't really want them around if they're not. And, you know, we have ways of not having them around so long if we don't want them. I mean, we want to grow. We want, you know, the best people in the world, not just the best fighters, but the best people in the world representing this organization and people that stand for things, you know. It's not just coming in here. We got Ben Rothwell, who's a big star in the UFC, and he wants to be a mascot for us. Like, he's like the best dude in the world. Like, once they get here, they know they either have to fit in or you know, they're not with us anymore. But man, you know, it's been a phenomenal 2022. It's been a phenomenal 4.5-year ride. We're just getting started. We're really, truly just getting started. And we're starting to be able to enjoy some of the fruits of our labor now and, you know, bring in more people and enjoy these fights and enjoy these different moments that are happening for us. Like the 50th event moment was big for us. But it's going to be a tremendous 2023. You know, 36 to 50 shows. You know, who knows how many it's going to end up being. This funding comes in January. It's game over for us. We're going to be in the market for every single free agent, you know, that pops, and BKFC is going to go through the roof, man. And I'm never been more confident of the sport of bare knuckle, and I've especially have never been more confident of the company of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I think we're in a prime position to take the number 2 position in combat sports.
It's crazy that you just said 36 to 50 events in 2023 is a possibility. It took 5 years to get to 50. In a year, you could possibly at this time next year be talking about your 100th event. That is just bananas to even think about it like that, right? That must really hit home for you.
It actually just gave me the chills, man. It's crazy, but at the end of the day, is, man, you know, like I said, man, anybody out there that's listening that really wants to do something in life, man, I'm not saying that you can do anything you want in life, but if you have a goal, a vision that you won't let anybody tell you that it won't work, it can work, man. I proved it. I mean, you don't understand, like, nobody in my life, and even part of my team now, nobody wanted to hear about it anymore. They were like, look, stop talking about it. Get it legal, and then we'll talk about it. We don't want to talk about it anymore. Don't talk about it. I must have come home to my wife 10 times and be like, we're going to do a bare knuckle show in a couple months. Okay, yeah. Like, okay, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Even Junior, he's like, you know, look, yeah, it's great. It's never going to happen. And it happened. Wow. It happened, and here we are. Listen, man, we're vying for the number 1 free agent in all of combat sports right now. I mean, who the fuck thought we would be there? 4.5 years later, we're going after the #1 free agent in combat sports. And word for word, verbatim was, their response was, "Thank you for coming correct with an offer." That was it.
Wow.
That was an offer.
I
So
feel like that's a good response.
let's see, we'll see what happens. But I mean, we're going to continue, grinding the way we grind. I'm going to have to jump in a second. If you guys have anything else, in closing you want to talk about, let's do it. But first of all, thank you for your coverage. Thanks for your service to the country, to us. But thanks for your coverage for Bare Knuckle, even before you got on. And now that you're with us, thanks for all you guys do, because you guys are great advocates for this company and the sport.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for the opportunity. Mike, go ahead.
Well, we have a quick speed round. I don't know. Do you have to get off in like 5? You have like 5 minutes or?
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yep.
All right. Let's just jump into the speed round real quick and just get that going, because it's going to be a little fun mix.
5 quick questions.
5 questions, and then we'll get you out of here.
Sounds good.
5 quick questions. You are 5 years into your life of BKFC. Who is on the Mount Rushmore right now of BKFC, according to the boss? 4 names.
Artem Lobov. Paige Van Zandt has to be on there. Joey Beltran. Lorenzo Hunt.
Boom. There it is. 2 quick. They all impacted the growth of the company. I would imagine that's the reason why they're on there. Number 2.
Who would play David Feldman in a movie about your life?
Man, that's a tough one. That's actually something that's been talked about a little bit now. We're actually working on this reality series. Hopefully this pops in the next couple of months and we get the production on it. I don't know, man.
You know who? I just saw. You ever watch what the hell was the Kingdom? Dude that
Kingdom. Yeah.
The guy that played Alvy in Kingdom would be
Love
good for
him.
you. Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo.
Yeah.
We talk all the time now, Frank Grillo.
No way.
Awesome.
He's a huge fan of BKFC.
Wow.
That's cool.
Man. I would love to meet. I'd like to see him at an event. That'd be cool, because I think that's one of the greatest shows that was ever made for TV.
Yep.
I think Scott Farley said Mark Wahlberg. So take that one.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, number 3. If you could fight anyone inside the square circle right now, who you towing the line with?
I don't really have any enemies, man. I mean, I got a lot of guys that don't like me, but I don't really have anybody that I don't like. But, I mean, why not see if Dana White would want to toe the line?
Ooh. After he lost all that muscle mass, I don't think he wants none.
Actually, who was I just thinking about? The other day I was thinking about somebody. I can't remember who it was. Oh, Ken Shamrock. I'd love to toe the line with Ken Shamrock.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man, that'd be cool. That's a good one. All right, number 4.
Growing up, what athletes did you look up to the most?
I mean, I loved Dr. J. He was a Philly guy. He was awesome. But I was into fighting. So Muhammad Ali, Smoking Joe Frazier, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, they were the guys, Sugar Ray Leonard, the guys that I really looked up to, that I wanted to emulate.
And even that fictional character that you have a statue of in your city, right? Rocky Balboa. I mean,
Rocky, that was the best. It was
Rocky.
Best.
I love Stallone.
The only movie my father ever took us to, and he didn't know that it was that kind of movie. We were 10 and 11. He took us to Raging Bull.
Oh,
crazy movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Great movie. I watched it on a plane ride to one of the events like 6 months ago, to be honest with you.
Crazy.
Last question for you, and then we'll let you get on of here. Do you think in a Mike and Mish versus Dave and Dave, Feldman Cranston basketball game, you guys would come out the victors? Come
100%.
out victorious?
100% we will.
Oh, I think we're going to have to do this at some point.
Because I won't let you win. I just want a rough house. I'm telling you.
All right. It's on.
We'll have fun with it.
Yes, all right.
Definitely.
There we go. I think we asked that question because when we were out in Denver, I think you guys were breaking each other's balls about a 1-on-1 basketball game. And me and him were walking away. We were like, man, we should have seen if they wanted to play some 2-on-2 real quick.
That would have been great. That would have been
great.
All right, awesome, absolutely. Guys, man. Thanks so much for having me, man. A happy New Year to you guys. I wish you guys the best in the new year. And I'm going to see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you in Myrtle Beach. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for being the 200th guest, and we will see you soon. Thank you very much. Mike, anything?
Thank you for everything that you guys have done for us, allowing us to be on your platform. And thank you for the awesome sport that we cover and we'll continue to cover. We love it.
Awesome, guys. Take care, man.
Have a good night. Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. There he is. There's the guy, man. The guy that brought legalized bare knuckle to the United States for the first time, I think, since like 1889. I think the numbers.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Long,
it's got to be at least over 10 years. You know, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, man. I listen, guys, if we missed things in the comments, we were just busy with the show. And like, trust me, I wish he didn't have to leave because I would have asked him if Dad's fighting Reggie Barnett next.
Right.
Who is that main event in Virginia in March? Is it Reggie Barnett and Dat win?
Yeah. So the thing is that, hey, guess what? We'll ask him to come on again, probably more often now than we did before. But he'll come on again and we'll talk some more. You know, maybe in a couple of months we'll bring him on and we'll see him at the events too. And we'll get a little bit of questions in there. So yeah, it was this was an episode that we looked forward to doing for a long time. But like Kyle said earlier, it became a thing where we didn't have him on. So then it was like, well, now we got to wait till a really good time to put him on. We can't just throw him in somewhere just randomly. We have to get a good conversation, learn about who he is as a person behind bare knuckle, before bare knuckle. So, you know, I enjoy that. For me, when I listen to podcasts and stuff, and when we do this, I like to know about the person because I already know what they do every day. We see them, what they do and who they know and what's going on in their life because they're in the spotlight, but we don't know what they did before.
And the shit he talked about tonight, I don't know if a lot of people knew about that stuff, about the, you know, the lowest of the low that he got to, where he pulled up on that bridge and thought about taking his own life, and the story with his mother and his father. And
yeah,
I mean, what a life this dude's had. And the fact that he pushed all the chips in on himself, he got back in his car and he fucking drove forward. And like he talked about, he lost that investor before Knucklemania won.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have known that. That's all behind. That is the behind the scenes shit that we don't know because we went to that event and that event went without a hitch, man. You wouldn't know that they were struggling with anything leading up to it. It fucking was so well produced. The fights were incredible. The post fights were incredible. It was great. Yeah. And the cancer, dude, he had to fight cancer. Like that's all that,
you know
that,
I think of,
all that shit, dude.
Keep going.
All that shit that we just learned about him made that who's going to play you in your life movie question even more. Cause now I want to see the damn movie.
I know. I'm thinking when he's saying that stuff, I'm thinking about like, what would Steph be doing when I'm, you know, putting it all on the line at this point? We've got no money. Can you imagine the amount of stress that on the family, but coming back at you at the same time, because you're like, well, I'm trying to do this, you know, believe me, trust me. And they're like, you're throwing away everything we have here. Like, are you insane right now? I'm out of here. You know, I can't imagine
the people in his life.
There probably was a I'm done with you speech, you know, an argument, like we're done.
The ones that stuck with him truly believed in him. And I mean, that's what it comes down to. It was nuts, man. And yeah, man, I feel like it could have been a 3-hour show because we forgot to ask about Diego Sanchez. We forgot to ask about a bunch of shit. Man.
Well, there's so many questions.
Yeah, we'll get him back on.
We'll get it.
And guys, this is not the last show of the year, by the way. We just picked one up. We're going to be doing a quick, maybe half an hour tomorrow night.
Yep, with
a good buddy of ours, the co-host of a new game show that's going to be coming on called Fight Game. Pro athletes versus celebrities playing trivia with our buddy Joe Miggs, who's going to be hosting that show with Catalina Hager. We met her down in Orlando. She is professional wrestling star Jake Hager's wife, model, personality, and Joe and her, she's up in the air because she's traveling from Cincinnati or Chicago or something. She's traveling tomorrow, and the plan is to have them both on They are going to give us a thorough preview of what's going on with the fight game, which is premiering on January 1st. So, Mike, bonus episode to end the year. What do you think of that?
Bonus, little fun with our friend Joe.
Yeah.
You know, he's always helping us. We're helping him. This is what we do. I'm looking forward to it. It was kind of just a little surprise thing. You know, his fight game will be, like you said, New Year's Day, and a little promoting. Got to do a little promoting and catch up with him because we haven't talked to him for a while. So I'm looking forward to it tomorrow at 9.
Tomorrow at 9, guys. So tune in tomorrow night. And just to recap the first few events of next year, since we're probably not going to talk too much about upcoming events.
Right.
Guys, January, we got Go-Go versus Cedeno, man, to start us all off, Myrtle Beach. Then we're going to Albuquerque, New Mexico, February 17th.
And
Knuckle
right now, there's a pre-sale that says 48 starts now. Actually started like, I think 10 hours ago. So there's still another 14 hours or 13 hours left to go and enter access code MANIA. And you can pre-order tickets, pre-sale for Knuckle Mania 3. So go get them things before they hit the streets.
Right. And guys, it's not in the same venue as it was. It's not at the Rio Rancho Center this time.
Yes.
But I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter where it is in Albuquerque. That is a fight town. The energy in the building that night was like
insane.
The live events are insane. So if you're in that part of the country and you can get to Albuquerque, get there, because I'm sure Lorenzo Hunt and Mike Richmond are going to be joined by 3 or 4 other blockbuster fights on top of like a card of about 15 fights, you know.
I would expect to see
Mike Perry.
Probably, but the Dodson brothers, I would probably expect to see them on the card. And we already kind of know about a fight where you were just talking about Diego Sanchez and Trout, you know, like that's been out there. It hasn't been officially released, but he's talked about it online. It's been out there, but it hasn't been officially signed. So
also, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I know that Big Ben Rothwell has been begging for a fight. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw him on that card. They just blow that thing out the freaking stratosphere. Get to
maybe
that one.
Faria, I don't know.
Maybe Faria. She liked training out there, man. She looked amazing the last time. Then after that event, we got Arnold Adams and Alan Belcher in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, guys. Jesus, can you imagine? Go down there, get to see some bare knuckle scrappy scraps, and then hit Bourbon Street up, man. See some boobies. Get some beads and see some hoo-hoos.
Yeah, boobies and bears and beads.
Boobies, bears, and beads. Bare knuckles, bare boobs, and beers.
Yep.
Yeah. and then Mike, we talked about it briefly. There you go. March 24th, Norfolk, Virginia.
Yep.
But he mentioned tonight on the show, look for a March 17th St. Patty's Day event as well, a week before that. So, dude, what shitload of events coming up. I cannot wait for 2023. It's going to be incredible.
What about this one? Did we already say that?
I forgot all about
37, Saturday, March 4th, London, England. This came out on their website, I think today. That's when I saw it this morning. And then after that, we've got this one.
Yeah, I wonder if this one is still
on
the docket. If they're talking London March 4th,
it's wild.
If they're talking London March 4th, Virginia March 24th, and he's talking about a March 17th card, I'm imagining that Buakaw Sanchai card is up in the air for the date right now. I'm just guessing. I mean, how much shit can you possibly pack into 1 month? You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot of stuff.
With all that shit, dude, with all that shit, they're looking at like UFC type numbers, man. Like, you know what? The sky's the limit, as Biggie Smalls once said. Sky is the limit. And man, thank you guys for coming out tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I apologize, like I said, if we didn't get to any of the questions, but we're gonna have Dave back on another day, and we'll hit him up with everything else that everyone wants to know. What do you say, Mike?
Well, I will say thank you all for watching the show tonight. It means a lot to us. Make sure to like and subscribe, share, tell all your friends about our show. Support guerrilla warfare. Go on there, use the promo code Mike and Mish to save 15%. Everything you guys get when you put in that promo code shows that it's for us, and we can keep the sponsorship going. We love guerrilla warfare. They've been great to us, like seriously awesome. And we want to continue that relationship way into the future and grow together with them. So thank you. We will see you
Also,
all
hey,
tomorrow.
And
Yes.
and our other main sponsor, Norcom Mortgage.
Yes, sir.
Mike, who happens to be my cousin, is the man you need to talk to about loans, mortgage loans, and whatever. And Mike is licensed. He's a main sponsor for us because he's sponsored in 38 states in the United States. He can help anyone in 38 out of the 50 states.
Yes, sir.
Do not hesitate to hit him up. His information's in that commercial at the beginning of the thing, and I'll post it to our page.
Even if you have a question about anything, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have a question about buying a house, call him up and ask it. He'll answer you. So,
and if you have problems with your credit, he can help you fix that shit too. With that said, guys, we will see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. when we got the two co-hosts of Fight Game on with us. With that said, Mike, peace.
Peace.